අලුත් පාසල් වාරය ආරම්භ කරන්න ඉස්සර වෙලා ඒ පාසලට යන්න මේ දරුවන්ට තුනුරුවන්ගේ ආශිර්වාදය ළඟා කළ දෙන්න. තුනුරුවන්ගේ අනන්ත ගුණ බලය තුලින් විජයශ්‍රී ජයශ්‍රී මා බෝධිරාජයන්න් වහන්සේගේ අනන්ත ගුණ බලය, සිද්ධාන්ත ධාතුන් වහන්සේගේ අනන්ත ගුණ බලය අපි හැම දිනාටම පිහිටාවා. අපේ අධ්‍යාපන කටයුතු සාර්ථක කරගෙන අපි නිකම්ම ඉගෙන ගන්න දරුවෝ වෙන්නට හොඳ නැහැ. හොඳ උසස් විදිහට ඉගෙනගෙන ලෝකේටම නමක් පවතින මහා ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨ ගණයේ බුද්ධිමතෙක් වෙන්නට ඕනේ. ඒකටයි තුන්රුවන්ගේ ආශිර්වාදය අපට අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ. හොඳ බුද්ධිමත් දරුවෝ වේවා, ලෝකයට වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන්, මුළු ලෝකයක් සනසන්න පුළුවන් වාසනාවන්ත දරුවෝ කරගන්නටයි අපි මේ මහා සංඝරත්නයේ අම්මලා තාත්තලා ඔය කට්ටිය මේ පන්සලට එක් කරන ඇවදින් ආශිර්වාද ලබා දෙන්නේ. ඔය සත්පුරුෂ දරුවෝ හැටියට ලෝකෙ හැමතැනම නම ප්‍රචලිත වෙන මහා වාසනාවන්ත ඒ උතුම් තත්ත්වයට මේ කට්ටියට උරුමකම් කියන්නට අවස්ථාව ලබා දෙන්න. ඒ උරුමය ලැබේවා කියන චේතනාව අපි හැමදෙනාම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන්නේ. මේ හැම දරුවෙක්ම හොඳ ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් හොඳ දක්ෂ දරුවෝ. මෙතන එක දරුවෙක්වත් නැහැ ඉගෙන ගන්න බැරි දරුවෝ. ඒක මම හොඳටම දන්නවා. මේ හැම දරුවෙක්ම හොඳම දක්ෂ දරුවෝ. ලෝකේ ඉන්නේ ඉහළම දක්ෂතාවයන් තියෙන දරුවෝ. හැබැයි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ දක්ෂතාවයන් තව දියුණු කරගන්න එක තමයි අපිට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. මොකද උපතින් අපි දක්ෂතාවය අරගෙන ඇවිදින් තියෙන්නේ. අපිට දැන් මේ ආපු එක දියුණු කරගන්න එක විතරයි කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒ දියුණු කරගන්නයි අද හොඳ ධර්ම දේශනාවක් අහන්න ලැබෙනවා. ඔය කට්ටියට තේරෙන භාෂාවෙන් ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාවෙන් බණ ටිකක් අහන්න. හැබැයි හාමුදුරු බණ කියනකොට ඔය කට්ටියන් ප්‍රශ්න අහනවා. අන්න ඒ නිසා මතක තියාගන්න හොඳට බණ කියන අහගෙන ඉන්න අහපු ගමන් උත්තර දෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න. නැති වුණොත් එහෙම ඔකට අර නරකයි කියන තැනට වැටෙනව නේද? හොඳට ඇහුම්කන් දීගෙන ඉඳලා හාමුදුරුවෝ අහනකොටම උත්තර දෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා හොඳ දරුවෝ හැටියට අපි හැමදෙනාම එකතු වෙලා දැන් පන්සිල් සමාදන් වෙමු. මම පන්සිල් දෙනවා. ඔබ හැමදෙනාම මේ වාක්‍යයන් කියලා පන්සිල් සමාදන් වෙන්න. බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ධම්මං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි සංඝං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ဒုတိယံ පි බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ဒုတိယံ පි ධම්මං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ဒုတိယံ පි සංඝං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි တတိယံ පි බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි တတိယံ පි ධම්මං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි တတိယံ පි සංඝං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ပါဏာတိပါတာဝေရမဏီสิกขาပဒံ සමාදියාමි อดินนาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาดิยามิ กามิสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาดิยามิ มุสาวาดาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาดิยามิ สุราเมรยมัจจปมาดัฏฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาดิยามิ ป තිසරණේන සද්දිම් පංචශීලං ධම්මං සාදුකං සුරක්ඛිතං කତ୍වා අප්පමාදේන සම්පාදේ තබ්බං. හොඳයි. එහෙමනම් අපි හැමදෙනාම කාල වේලා ඉක්මවා යන්නට උවමනාවක් නැහැ. බණ අහන්නත් ඕනේ නේද? පිරිත් අහන්නටත් ඕනේ. ඉතින් බණ එහෙම ඉවර වෙලා අපි ඔකට ආශිර්වාදාත්මක පිරිත් දේශනාව කරමු. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා දැන් මේ ඉස්සරහා වැඩ ඉන්නේ බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ. මේ පුංචි දරුවන්ගේ මනසට දැනෙන්නට ඕනේ බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ අද ජීවමාන නැහැ. නමුත් උන්වහන්සේගේ ප්‍රතිමාව නිදර්ශනයක් හැටියට හදාගෙන හිතින් අපි බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ දකින්නට ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි බුදුන් දකින්නයි කියලා කියන්නේ. දැන් අපි බොහෝම ශ්‍රද්ධාවෙන් බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ දැක්කහම ජීවමාන බුදුහාමුදුරන්ට බුද්ධ පූජා තියන්නට පුළුවන්. ඒ නවරහාදී බුදු ගුණයකින් එක අරගෙන කියවල දැනගත්තාම ජීවමාන බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ කවුද කියලා අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන්, දකින්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා මේ බුදුහාමුදුරන්ට අපි සකස් කරගත්ත ගිලම්පස මල්පහන් සොඳ දුම් මේ සියලුම පූජා ද්‍රව්‍යම් පූජා කරන පූජා වේවා. මේ තුලින් අත්පත් වන්නා වූ සකල කුසල පුණ්‍ය සම්භාර ධර්මයන් දෙවියන් සහිත ලෝකවාසී සියලු සත්වෝ පින්පන් රක් වශයෙන් අනුමෝදන් වෙත්වා. ඔබේ මුතුන් මිත්තන් ආදී කොට ඇත්තා වූ සහලේ කුලේ පරම්පරාවේ මේ ගී අන්තා ඥාති සමූහයක් ඇත්නම් ඒ හැම දිනාමත් මේ පින් අනුමෝදන් වෙත්වා. ඒ වගේම ජීවත් වෙන්න ආදරණීය පියතුමාට මෑණියන්ට රත්නත්‍රී අනන්ත ගුණ බලයෙන් නිදුක් නිරෝගී භාවයේ දිගාසිරි ලැබේවා. අපට හොඳ අධ්‍යාපනයක් ලබන්නට නිතර දෙවේලේ අපට උදව් උපකාර කරන දෙමව්පියෝ සිහිපත් කරන්නට ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම අපිත් ඒ දෙමව්පියන්ගේ හොඳ කීකරු දරුවෝ වෙලා හොඳට ඉගෙන කියා ගන්නට අදිෂ්ඨාන කරගන්න මේ අවස්ථාව මේ පූජාවෙන් ආශිර්වාද ලැබෙනවා. වගේම අපේ සිතේ අදිෂ්ඨානය දියුණු කරගැනීමේ අවකාශය උදා කරගන්න පුළුවන් ඔබ හැමදෙනාටම ඒ බුද්ධිමත් දරුවෝයි මේ වාසනා වාග්ය ලැබේවා සියලු දෙනාගේම ආශිර්වාදයෙන්. ඒ වගේම අවසානයේ මේ මහා පිංකම් කරන අපට මහා නිවෙනින් නිවි සැනසෙන්න ලැබෙත්වා කියලා සිතුවිල්ල ඇති කරගෙන හැමදෙනාම එකට එකතු වෙලා හාමුදුරුවොත් එක්ක ගාත කියලා බුද්ධ පූජාව පවත්වමු. සාදුකාරයක් දෙන්න. හයියෙන් සාදුකාරයක් දෙන්න. දැන් හාමුදුරුවොත් එක්ක සාදු කියන්නේ. සාදු සාදු සාදු. නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා. නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. ඉතිපිසෝ භගවා අරහං සම්මා සම්බුද්ධෝ චරණ සම්පන්නෝ සුගතෝ ලෝකවිදු අනුත්තරෝ පුරිස ධම්මසාරති සත්තා දේව මනුස්සානා බුද්ධෝ භගවාතේ සක්කාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ සන්දිට්ඨිකෝ අකාලිකෝ එහි පස්සිකෝ පනයිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේදිතම්බෝ විඤ්ඤෝයිතේ සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ උජුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ ඥාය පටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ ශාවක සංඝෝ
යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුග්ගලා ඒස භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක්ඛෙත්තං ලෝකස්සාති ගනසාරම්පදිත්තේන දීපේන තමදංසෙනා තිලෝක දීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජාමි තමෝනුදං ගන්ධ සම්භාර යුත්තේන දූපේනං සුගන්ධිනා පූජ්‍යයේ පූජනීයන්තං පූජා භාජන මුත්තමං වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සන්තතින් පූජයාමි මුනිම් දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුයේ පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ලබාමි මොක්ඛං පුම්පම්මිලායාති අතායි ධම්මේ කායෝතතායාති විනාශ භාවං අනන්ත ඥානෝ විමලෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ ගුණාකරෝ පතිගං හාතු භගවා දක්ඛිනෝදක මුත්තමං අද්දිවාසේ තුනෝ බන්තේ බේසජ්ජම් පරිකප්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගං හාතු මුත්තම අද්දිවාසේ තුනෝ බන්තේ බේසජ්ජං පරිකප්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගං හාතු මුත්තම අදිවාසේ තුනෝ බන්තේ ගිලාන පච්චයං ඉමං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගං හාතු මුත්තම සුගන්ධං සීතලං කම්පම් පසන්න මధుරං සුභං පානීයමිතම් භගවා පතිගං හාතු මුත්තම වන්දාමි චේතියං සබ්බං සබ්බඨානේ සුපතිට්ඨිචං සාරීරික ධාතු මහා බෝධින් බුද්ධ රූපං සකලං සදා යස්ස මූලේ නිසින්නෝව සබ්බාරි විජයං අකා පත්තෝ සබ්බඤ්ඤුතං සත්තා වන්දේ තම්බෝධිපාදපං ඉමේතේ මහා බෝධි ලෝකනාතේන පූජිතා අහම්පිතේ නමස්සාමි බෝධිරාජා නමස්සුතේ සේවිතං ධම්මරාජේන පත්තුං සම්බෝධි මුත්තමං පූජේමි බෝධිරාජානං දීපේනේතේන සාදරං සේවිතං ධම්මරාජේන පත්තුං සම්බෝධි මුත්තමං පූජේමි බෝධිරාජානං දූපේනේතේන සාදරං සේවිතං ධම්මරාජේන පත්තුං සම්බෝධි මුත්තමං පූජේමි බෝධිරාජානං පුෂ්පේනේතේන සාදරං සේවිතං ධම්මරාජේන පත්තුං සම්බෝධි මුත්තමං පූජේමි බෝධිරාජානං දජේනේතේන සාදරං සාදු කරදින් කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්ඡයං කමමි බන්තේ බුරි පඤ්ඤ තථාගත කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්ඡයං කමමි ධම්ම සම්දිට්ඨික අකාලික කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්ඡයං කමමි සංඝ සුපාටිපන්න අනුත්තර අපි හැමදෙනාම රැස් කරගත්තා වූ පින් දෙවියන් සහිත ලෝකවාසී සියලු සත්‍යයන්ට පින්පන්රක් වශයෙන් අනුමෝදන් කරමු අනුමෝදන් වේවා ඒ දෙවි දේවතාවුන් වහන්සේලාගේ ආශිර්වාදය අපට නොඅඩුව ලැබේවා කියන චේතනාව ඇති කරගෙන මේ ගාථාවන් කියලා දෙවියන්ට පින් දෙන්න. ඉත්තාවතාච අම්මේ සම්බදං පුඤ්ඤ සම්පදං සබ්බේ දේවා අනුමෝදන්තු සබ්බ සම්පatti සිද්ධි ඉත්තාවතාච අම්මේ සම්බදං පුඤ්ඤ සම්පදං සබ්බේ භූතානුමෝදන්තු සබ්බ සම්පatti සිද්ධිය ඉත්තාවතාච අම්මේ සම්බදං පුඤ්ඤ සම්පදං සබ්බේ සත්තානුමෝදන්තු සබ්බ සම්පatti සිද්ධිය ආකාසට්ටා ච බුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්칸තු ලෝක සාසන ආකාසට්ටා ච බුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්칸තු ලෝක සාසන ආකාසට්ටා ච බුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්칸තු ලෝක සාසනං ඉදම්මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදම්මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදම්මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ දේවෝ අස්ස සුකාලේන සස්ස සම්පත්ති හෝතු ච පීතෝ භවතු ලෝකෝච රාජා භවතු ධම්මිකෝ ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිබ්බානපත්තියා ඉදම්මේ පුඤ්ඤං ආසවක්ඛයාවං හෝතු සබ්බ දුක්ඛා පමුඤ්චතු සාදු කරමු. හොඳයි. අද විශේෂයෙන් ගිලම්පස බුද්ධ පූජාව හැමදාම පවත්වාගෙන එන ගිලම්පස බුද්ධ පූජාව උපුල් මහත්මත් දිල්රුක්සිනෝන මහත්මයාත් දුවා දරුවන් ඥාති හිසයිතින් ආදරණීය මෑණියන් පියාණන් ආදී කොට ඇති හැම දිනම එකතු පාදා කරගෙන ඒ ගිලම්පස බුද්ධ පූජාව පවත්වනු ලබනවා. විශේෂයෙන් අද මේ පුංචි දරුවන් වෙනුවෙන් මාසික ධර්ම දේශනාව ඉංග්‍රීසි භාෂාවෙන් දේශනා කරන්නට යෙදුන නිසා බණ ඉවර වෙලා මේ හැම තවත් දරුවෝ එන්න පුළුවන් නේ. ඒ හැම දිනාටම ආශිර්වාදාත්මක පිරිත් දේශනාව අපි දේශනා කරමු. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා නිදාගන්නේ නැතුව බණ අහන්න. නිදාගන්න නැතුව හොඳට බණ අහගන්න. හොඳට ඔය කට්ටියට මේ ධර්ම දේශනාව තේරෙන විදිහට කියනවා. නිසා හොඳට බණ අහලා ධර්මඥානෙ දියුණු කරගන්න කියලා මතක් කරමින් ඔබ හැම දිනාටම මේ කලා වූ උදාර පුණ්‍ය මහිමේ හේතුවෙන් හොඳ වාසනාවන්ත ජීවිත ගත කරන්න ලැබේවා. ගානස්තර තාරකාදීන් වෙන අපල උපද්‍රව තියෙනවා නම් ඒවා දුරින් දූරී භූත වේවා. නැනනුවන දියුණු කර ගැනීම වාසනා භාග්‍ය ලැබේවා. අවසානයේ උතුම් අමා නිවන් සුව අපට අත් වේවා කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමු. අපි හාමුදුරන්ට ආරාධනා කරමු බණ කියන්න. ඔව් පිරිකිය නැත්නම් තව ළමයි එනවනේ. පිරිත්හන්න ඉන්න ඕන හැමදෙනාම යන්න එහෙම කලබල කරන්න එපා. පිරිත් නේ බැඳගෙන යන්න එපා.
හොඳයි කවුරු සාදුකාරයක් දෙන්නකෝ පුංචි ළමයි. Today's Dhamma Desana for you. So you must be sit nice and awake. Okay? Yes? So together with me you can say Namo Tassa now. Okay? Can you, all of you, nicely? Some of you are sleeping already. Okay. Together with me say Namo Tassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Kayena Sangvaro Sadhu Sadhu Vachaya Sangvaro Manasa Sangvaro Sadhu Sadhu Sambatta Sangvaroti. Okay. With the permission of Very Venerable Nayaka Thero, and all the Sangha members of the Vihara, and parents, and the children. This evening we gather here, listen to Dhamma Desana, just before you begin your school, right? New semester begins. After how long? After? Nearly 3 months, right? Did you well use that time? 3 months is a long time. Very important time period. How well did you use it? Nobody knows, right? Had good time? Yes? Now, children have to speak to me now. If you don't speak to me, I will stop and I will go. Reason behind that is I want to see if you are listening. Okay? Now, how many of you were here last year when I was talking to you? I think many of you were here. How many of you remember what I said last year? Okay. Anybody else? Who remember what I said? Something important to you I mentioned last year. I remember what I said. As children, what do we need? I said, we need determination. We need courage. We need perseverance. I mentioned these things. I spoke about 10 perfections that day. Do you remember it? I spoke about 10 perfections and how those perfections help Buddhahamdru to become Buddha, and those things, not only Buddhahamdru, they are useful for us too. As children, those things are useful for you too, because perfections are patience, right? Perseverance, there are many of them, very useful. Truthfulness, we have to live, always, when we communicate, we must be truthful. So those things I reminded you to practice in your daily life. So that's what I was talking to you last year. So this year I'm going to tell you a story. How many of you like to listen to a story? How many of you want to remember that story? Okay. After next year I will ask about that too. Okay? I will check with you if you remember it. And also this is a good story, and also it is useful for you. There's a reason why I am telling you this story. Okay? Reason is that, and also you have to learn this. If you have not heard this before, you have to remember. And it is time of the Buddha, not recent current story. Even in current day also, this kind of stories are there. Okay? Current day too, there could be many stories similar to this. People are behaving in that manner. This is something to do with Buddhahamdru's life. How many of you have heard? I think all the children in Dhamma school might have heard this. During the Buddhahamdru's time, how many religions were there? This you have to remember. How many religions were there? Not 4. There were 62 small groups were there. Out of these 62, there were 6 major, very strong religious groups. Among them, even today, there are 1 religious group is still remaining. Very close to Buddhahamdru's life story. very similar to it. And also many temples were there in the India. Near the Buddhist temple, there's a temple. That's called Jaina. Today, in America also, there are Jainas. But those days, mostly they use the term Niganta. What's the word? Niganta. Niganta means no knots. These people, there are two sects. One is they didn't wear any clothes. They didn't wear clothes. Naked ascetics. Still they are living. They don't come here, but they live in India, still living. They do practice. They think why they don't wear clothes? They don't have a desire even for the clothes. Okay? So that is the idea. So they think that is one kind of principle. When they were walking, still they do, they have a bunch of peacock feather and they sweep the floor in front of them and they clean it and walk. Why? Why do you think that? Yes.
So they don't step on any ants or any small insects?
Exactly, that's right. I think she has heard the story. Did you hear that story? Okay, but it's still good. So that was the reason. They think that they are stepping on the small insects and they will kill them, therefore they don't want to. And also they use mask. Why? They don't want to, when they are breathing, they think that small insect they are killing. And they never drink cold water. Why? They think in cold water there are small insects. So they will be killing by drinking them. So now they are called very non-violent practice. This is called Parama Avihinsa or non-violent. So this is what they were practicing. Even though they were like that, when it comes to Buddhahamduru, they did not have that kind of non-violent feeling. They were kind of jealous, I see, which is not good. Right? Is jealous good? Do you have to feel jealous about your friends? No. This is not the right thing to do. If we have to work it out. We have to let it go. This is what Buddhahamduru told. Right? So these people, they always had kind of jealous. Even at the last moment, this particular person, Nigantanataputta, he died doing something not very helpful for him. Many times what he did, he sent his disciple to Buddha thinking, go and argue with him. What does argue means? Yes. Say it again, please. Okay. Anybody else? Yes. Yes, arguing, right? Arguments. So you can defeat another person, refute another person. He asked him to go and refute the Buddha. So many times he did that. One day, there was a king, actually a prince called Abhaya. Have you heard that word? Abhaya? I think, yeah, we have names like that. Abhaya Vardhana, Abhaya Singha, right? Yes? So his name was Abhaya Rajakumara. Abhaya means fearless. He was one of the sons of King Bimbisara. What is the names of the king? Bimbisara. I don't know if you remember, Bimbisara was the king for the first time who offered a temple to Buddhamdru. Right? All these things you have to remember. I will ask you next time too. Okay? Do you think it's possible to remember? Maybe. If you keep that in your mind, maybe you can remember. So first temple offering comes from King Bimbisara. That temple's name is Veluvanarama, bamboo grove. Veluvana means bamboo grove. So when he was there, this thing happens. Okay? In Veluvana, when Buddhamdru was living in Veluvana, this argument came to exist. One day, this Nigantanataputta sent his disciple, even though Bimbisara was Buddhamdru's disciple, his son was disciple of this Nigantanataputta or China Mahavira. That's another name. Okay? So one day he called him, asked him, Prince Abhaya, go and refute or argue with the Buddha and defeat him. Then, he is a sincere disciple, but he did not know how to argue with the Buddha. Do you think it's a possible thing? Why? Why do you think it's not possible? Yes. Huh? Because Buddha is very nice? Okay. What else could be? Yes. Huh? Or refuse to argue, that's also could be. But, if somebody comes in, he could handle it, I think. He had very good knowledge about other people. Right? Yes. I didn't hear you. Infinite wisdom. Okay. That's a good word to use. Yes. Yes. He lets go. That's also a good thing, right? We have to let go too, right? What? Any kind of situation arises. But we must be able to handle it because the person may need to know some things. Okay. So I read the sutra, and there he asked the Prince Abhay how am I going to argue with or refute the Buddha or defeat him by arguing? When he asked it, then what he did, Nigantanataputta coached him. He coached him. What is coaching means? Like you are coached when you go to your soccer, right? So likewise. Okay. So in a similar way, he coached this young prince to go to the Buddha and defeat him by arguing. He said, when you go, you ask him questions. What is the question he's supposed to ask? This is what he was asking. The prince, Tathagata, would utter speech. The Tathagata would utter speech that would be unwelcome and disagreeable to others. Right? So we must be speaking the words that we can agree with each other, right? So he's asking, did Tathagata means who? Buddha, another word for the Buddha. Always remember, Buddhamdru's another name is Tathagata, thus gone. They all go same way, all practice same teachings. Therefore, Buddhas were called Tathagata, right? So that's you have to remember. So, he was taught, young prince was taught to ask him a question. Does the Tathagata would utter speech which other people disagreeable or unwelcome? Right? Welcoming means that you like it. So they agree with. Or people disagree. So, when you ask this question, if Buddha says this, so these are pre-made set of answers that he prepared. Now, teacher thinks if when you ask this question, he would answer this way. Right? So, the Tathagata, then he says, if he tells you, yes, right? Yes, where I do speak unwelcome, unagreeable speech. For any reason, he may say yes. If he say yes, what is supposed to say? You ask him, then Venerable Sir, what is the difference between you and other people, normal people? Why? This is the act of normal people. For sometimes when you children get together, you may say the words that not very pleasant to other people, to your friend. So then you, what are you doing? You start arguments, right? Yes, no? I think many times that among children, I see that arguments are there, right? So, if we say no, then you remind him this. So Nigantanathaputa is teaching young Prince Abhaya, to ask this question. So if we say no, then you remind him, then why did you say that Devadatta is going to go to hell? Right? He's going to spend eons in the hell. Right? You mentioned that because nobody likes that. So, because you said this to Devadatta, he became angry. That is the reason why he was angry with you. You know Devadatta's story, right? How many of you know Devadatta's story? Okay. These are stories that you learn in Dhamma school. Assuming that you know this, I am asking these questions. Right? So, Nigantanathaputa was teaching to Abhaya, if we say that I don't do such stories, then ask this question. Then what is his expectation? This is a double-edged sword like. Both sides are dangerous. Right? Both sides is dangerous. If you say this, ask him this. If he says no, then you ask this question. So he was asking both sides, whatever he says, there is going to be a question for him. So he thought Buddha is going to be in big trouble. How many of you think that Buddha got in trouble by answering this question? What do you think? Do you think that he got in trouble by answering this question? Children? You can answer it. Yes or no? Because this is the answer that most of the time you may be giving. Because here in schools you are in binary system. You have to say yes or no. Right? That's what you are learning. All the forms, you have no choice. Either you have to say yes or you have to say no. Not other than that. But in Eastern world, where Buddhahamdru came, where we come from, there is otherwise. There is difference. Some questions we cannot say yes or no. Right? To a certain questions, Buddhahamdru didn't even say anything. He kept quiet. Noble silence. Okay? So, then what happened? What do you think that Buddhahamdru answered to this man? When he asked this question, I put a note today. So, when this young prince, he thought, okay, now I can ask him. Because now he also said, Nigantanathaputa said, if you refuted the Buddha, you will become very famous. How can you be famous? By defeating the Buddha, you can be famous. Because Buddha is well known, well respected. Throughout the country, all the people knew about him. So that's how we say, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho. These are the qualities of the Buddha. All around the country, wherever they go, they ask, oh, we hear the Tathagata is with these virtuous qualities. So such a famous. So, he thought, young prince also thought he can become famous by refuting the Buddha. Then he thought he agreed with him, and he got up from his seat. He paid respect to his teacher. Who was his teacher? Prince Abhay's teacher. Who is the teacher? Niganta Nathaputta. Can you repeat it? Niganta Nathaputta. Remember that, okay? That's the name. So, now he went to see the Buddha. There also he paid respect to him. Those are in the country, wherever they go, for adults, elders, they are respectful. So this Prince Abhay paid respect to Buddha, but it was too late. He saw the time, and he saw, this is not a good time for me to ask this question. In the discourse, in the sutra, it says, he decided, no, this is not a good time, so I will invite him to my home. I will invite him to my home, and when he comes for the lunch, I will ask him this question. I will start talking to him. So he invited him with 3 other monks, please come to my home for lunch tomorrow. What did Buddhahamduru did? Yes. He silently, always, if he is accepting it, he is very silent. So with silence, he accepted the invitation. And next day morning, he went to this Prince Abhay's home. As he went there, as you do, if you invite monks, you always have seats, prepare the seats, and you accepted, welcome, and you prepare the food and offer it. Very delicious food he served to the Buddha. By doing so, after very quietly, Buddhahamduru, he do not talk while he was having his meal. As he was doing it, then when he finished his meal, what did Prince Abhay said? Prince Abhay asked him a question. Okay? Prince asked him a question. As he was taught by his teacher, he asked him, Venerable Sir, would the Tathagata utter such speech as would be unwelcome and disagreeable to others? Then Buddhahamduru answered him like this. He didn't say yes or no. There is no one-sided answer to that, Prince. What did he say? There is no one-sided answer to this question. So that means that he cannot say yes, he cannot say no. As he was saying this, what happened? The prince said this. Then, Venerable Sir, the Nigantas have lost in this. So this is something new to Buddha. There is some story behind this, right? Prince Abhay said, when Buddhahamduru said there is no one-sided answer to that questions, then Prince says, the Venerable Sir, the Nigantas have lost in this. What does it mean? Then Buddhahamduru asked, what do you mean, Prince? What is that story is about? Then what happened? Prince Abhay explained entire story, entire conversation which he had with his teacher, what he was taught. Right? Then after that, what did Buduhamduru do? Buduhamduru answered him, explained him something. Dhamma, he didn't say he's a bad person or anything, no comments about him. Then he said, very good example. And also when he was sitting there, Prince Abhay, his little infant baby was on his lap. Buduhamduru did ask a counter question. That's another method of Buduhamduru's teaching. Instead of answering, he asked a question. What is the question he asked? This was the question he asked. He asked, suppose your son, always little infant babies, I think all of you have brothers and sisters, small brothers and sisters, right? If you observe them carefully, when they walk, when they move around, what do? If there's anything on the floor, it could be a pebble, it could be a small rock, it could be a piece of, paper or piece of wood. What do? Huh? They put it in their mouth. This is the first thing children, babies do. Have you seen it? Yes. Exactly. So you have that good experience. So remember now, even Buduhamduru's time, children were like that. Right? Babies did the same thing. So child's nature. Because this is how they learn things. So this Buduhamduru said to him, so your baby, when you are not watching or the nurse was not around, your baby would be putting something, either pebble or the piece of wood that he picked up, would be putting in his mouth. And what happens? What would you do? As a parent or an elder, what do we do? Yes. Huh? Yeah, he would be choked. Before he gets choked, what happens? We take it away. This is what the Prince Abhay said. Venerable, I like to read what he said, okay? Venerable sir, I would take it out. If I could not take it out at once, I would take his head in my left hand and crooking a finger of my right hand, I would take it out even if it meant drawing blood. See now, even it hurts him, he's going to take it out. Right? Why is that? Buduhamduru asks, why are you going to do that? If it hurts him, why do you want to do that? Because I have compassion for the child. See? As parents, you don't want child to get choked. Right? So you want to save your child. So by force, even it hurts the child, you're trying to take it out. So this father also same thing like today's parents. I think your parents might have done that too. Right? So, likewise, Buduhamduru said, so too, Prince, such speech as Tathagata knows to be true, incorrect, and unbeneficial, and which is also unwelcome and disagreeable to others, such speech the Tathagata does not utter. So there are 5 qualities that he reminds us. 5 qualities in our words. Right? Remember, this is the reason why I use this word. No. When we speak, we use words. Buduhamduru is always, he chose appropriate words. Words are the way that we communicate. So Buddha always taught us, remember I mentioned the Gatha before? Kayen sangvaro sadhu sadhu vachaya sangvaro. Discipline in words, especially when you come to temple. If you are screaming at downstairs, is that a good thing to do? But do you do that? Huh? As children, do you do that? Maybe you didn't hear it, but we heard it. Yes? But without knowing, your voice raised up. When you do it in the basement, we can hear it here. This is something that you have to keep it in your minds. Right? Well disciplined. Word should be well disciplined. Our physical action should be well disciplined. Especially when in the temple. Remember, Hamdru says, don't run. Your parents ask you not to run. Is that true? Yes? No? They all, yes, always. Right? Did you say always? Huh? So, not to run around, not to scream. But, if you whisper, if you speak very slowly, low volume, would be very nice. When you hear so much noise, there's no peace. So that's the reason. We cannot find peace. We like to be peaceful. If that is the case, you have to observe silence. When you need, you have to speak. This is how Buddha did. Remember, Buddha spoke only where he needed to speak. Other times he maintained silence. He said, Dhammi va kata ariyo va tunhi bhavo. Tunhi bhava means what? Silence. Noble, observe, noble silence. It is not easy for children, but we have to make effort. Okay? How many of you can do that? I think you can try. Maintain the silence. I don't see many hands, only few. That means you are. See, this is where you need determination, what I taught you last year. Okay? I am going to do this. This year when I go to temple, I am going to maintain the silence or noble silence. If you keep that in your mind, you can do it. We can do anything, right? We can do anything in this world. If you want to be, if you set your mind. So therefore you have to keep that in your mind. I'm going to do this. This time, this is how we live according to Dhamma. Otherwise, you always listen to Dhamma, but you are not practicing. I don't want you to be like that. I want you to be children who practice Dhamma. Otherwise, you may be, later on, you may be frustrated about yourself. You will be unhappy about yourself. You are the one who is not practicing, right? Other people cannot practice for you. Amma and Tata cannot practice for you. Your friends cannot practice for you. You are the one who is supposed to practice. So how many of you can try to do that? Show me one more time your hands. So I will come, if you do that, I will come to Dhamma school again. Okay? I will keep my word, at least for a short time I will try. I want all of your children to remember this and practice. So this is how we say we are practicing Dhamma. We are practicing Buddha Sadhu's teaching. Otherwise what we do is, we read the book and run away. We didn't do anything. So that's not nice. Okay? And also I think I can ask parents to practice this too. Right? Parents also, I think, guide them. You can be role models. Your parents are the role models. So, they are your example will be for them to follow for your children. So, now, going back to story. Buddha said few things. So, such speech as Tathagata knows to be true. Number 2, to be true, correct, but unbeneficial. Okay? Unwelcome, disagreeable. If that is how those words are, then such word the Buddha do not utter. Okay? Now, number 3. Buddha knows these words going to be true and correct, beneficial, unwelcome, disagreeable, and Tathagata knows the time to use such speech. Remember, there are certain words Buddha knows, they are true. First one, what was that? First one he knows is true. First one is untrue, incorrect, unbeneficial, unwelcome, disagreeable. Buddha would not use that word. And number 2 is, the word Buddha knows is true, correct, but unbeneficial, unwelcome, disagreeable. Such words Buddha didn't use. Number 3, he knows it to be true and correct, beneficial, but unwelcome. Others others do not welcome and also disagreeable. But still, Tathagata knows time to use them if they are needed, because it's true, it's beneficial. Because of looking at the benefit, sometimes he used it, if it is appropriate. So then, number 4, he knows to be untrue, word is incorrect, unbeneficial, but people welcome. You know, certain things, certain gossips, some of us we like to hear, so we welcome it. And people agreeable, even though they are gossip, unbeneficial, still people are agreeable, they like it. And such word Buddha do not utter. I think these are all the children can use this, okay? And number 5, Buddha knows it to be true. He knows this is correct, but even though it's correct, it's unbeneficial. There could be some truth, no benefit. So then, even though people welcome it, they are agreeable, they want to hear it, but Buddha would not use it because no benefit. Now look at, Buddha always use the truth and the benefit. Okay? If it is no use, no benefit from that, those kinds of words he never used. So he observed noble silence. Okay? And number 6, Buddha knew it to be true, it's correct, beneficial, welcome, agreeable. Then Tathagata knows the time to use such speech. Why? Tathagata has compassion for living beings, for the people. Like the Prince Bodhiraja had compassion towards his son, very same way, even though it hurts, he took it out because he had compassion. Very same way, because Buddha came to this world to teach for the benefit of people. He had a great compassion, right? Great kindness. So he didn't want people to be wasting their life. So this is the reason why he went around and taught for 45 years. Right? For 45 years he was teaching. The reason was that he looked at every day, he had a habit. He was looking into the world and to whom should I help? Sometimes, maybe only one person, even far away distance. Why? To help. Looking at the benefit of that one person gain. So he went far away distance out of compassion. So his words also, like that he used most of the time, he observed noble silence, he never spoke. But if he speaks, he spoke the truth and beneficially. So we have to do that too, right? Reason I want to share this story was that I want children to learn and practice, right? speak right words, right? Not scream around the temple. Okay? So this is the way that you can gain blessings. Our words are our strength. Our actions are our strength, right? When we do right things, that's very powerful. When we have right words, they are very powerful. That is why we do chant the sutras of blessing. Etena sacca vajjena hotu te jaya mangalam o sotti te hu sabba. Always when Buddha blessing, sabbe satta bhavan sukitatta. Why he could give that blessing? Because he did practice well, right? So we all can do that, and also we all can give blessing to other people, right? What is a very good word that we can practice as blessing? All of you do this in Dhamma school. We are always active in 3 different ways. What are 3 ways we are active? By verbally, words, right? Physical actions, right? What is the other one? Huh? Mental. By mind. This is the only 3 different ways that we are active. We do karmas. We do actions, right? By mind, what do? We think. Thoughts are generated, right? Physically, what do? Lots of things, right? Verbally, what do? We say words. But for all of them, our mind get involved. We think in mind and then put it actions, right? So, as Buddha Sadhu taught, these things should be good. What we think and what we say should be good. Otherwise, it hurts other people. Like he was trying to do here. Right? He was trying to hurt the Buddha Sadhu. But what happened at the end? End result was not what Nigantanatha expected. What do you think? What happened to him? Yes. Really? Okay, that's a good way to think. Okay, who else? Anybody else? Yes. Huh? I cannot say. I will tell you later. I saw another hand coming up there. Anybody? Yes. Say it again. Huh? Oh. Example, that's true. You know what happened in reality? Who came to defeat Buddha? He got defeated in a way, and he became a follower of the Buddha. Right? Prince Abhay became a follower of the Buddha. He said, well explain the Dhamma from today onward, please take me as your disciple. Then what happened? Nigantanatha lost another disciple. He sent many people like that. You know, I was mentioning earlier, there was a very famous devotee of him whose name was Upali. That was the last case that he did. Nigantanatha sent his last very devoted, wealthy, very rich person. And when he came, he listened to Buddha Hamdru. He was very pleased. At the end, what happened? He also became Buddha Hamdru's disciple. But Buddha Hamdru said, no, you don't have to rush. Buddha Hamdru never converted people. Buddha Hamdru explained the Dhamma, the truth. When they see the truth, they are wise people, they wanted to be with the Buddha. That's what happened. So at the end, what happened? When Nigantanatha, even though Buddha Hamdru asked him to take care of his teachers, one day he didn't treat them. He closed the doors. Then, what happened to him? Nigantanatha died having a heart attack from that. So that was his end. Is that a good story? You know that when you are, because look at the other way. When you are jealous, when you do things with malicious thoughts, outcome is not going to be good. So this is something that we have to remember. He was trying to defeat, disgrace the Buddha, embarrass the Buddha. Buddha was not in such kind of person. He knew to handle, he knew the Dhamma very well. So very easily he explained it. One good story. Within that, Abhay Rajakumar's story, there's another good example I forgot to mention. He asked another question. After he was having this discussion, he said, Bhante, he said, Venerable Sir, there are people think that when people ask you certain questions, you have certain answers. If people ask me this question, I'm going to give them this answer. If they ask this question, I'm going to answer this way. So, are you answering people in that manner, or are you answering them spontaneously? Then Buddha gave a good example. You have to remember this one too. He didn't quick to answer. He said, Prince Abhay, now let me show you something. He asked, do you know well about chariot? Or let's say mechanic for today's word. You can see if you are a good mechanic, same question he asked. Do you know about chariots? Then Prince Abhay said, yes, I know it very well. Then Buddha asked, if somebody asks you a question about certain parts of the chariot, what would you do? Do you have a set of answers? If they ask this question, I'm going to tell them this. Then he said, no, Venerable Sir, I don't have to do that because I know all the parts of the chariot. Right? If you know all the parts of the chariot, do you have to have prepared sets of answers? Or can you spontaneously answer that? What do you think? Yes. Exactly. He can answer spontaneously without having any trouble. Right? So, that was the answer he was expecting. So, very same way, Buddha knew the Dhamma, nature of our lives, anything that he knew. Therefore, Buddha could answer anything very clearly without having any trouble. So he told him. So then Prince Abhay said he was very happy hearing that, because well explained, good examples were there. So it was very clear to him. That's where he became follower of the Buddha. So now you also have to remember these things like that, these stories. This Buddha's teaching is so nice because a lot of stories are there. That way we can remember. Especially for small children, these are very good stories to remember. And next time, I'm definitely going to ask you, if whenever I have a chance to come, I'm going to ask you these questions, okay? So, I think what I want to tell last was, in our minds, our actions, mental, physical, and verbal actions, our mind, so we can transform into good energy. How? By practicing metta, thoughts of metta, remember? So, that way we become very strong. If you cultivate metta in our minds, we always can share with other people. We can give blessing. At least if you can remember, sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. What's the word? No, this is coming in Karnima Sutra. We have to really memorize this one. But I want you to, this line you have to remember. Okay, repeat after me. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Now, whole line. Sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Say it. In English, it is, may all beings be well and happy. Right? That's well and happy. That's in English, but I like you to remember in Pali word too. Because your language is very close to Pali, so you can remember that, okay? Okay? So all of you, as you learn in Dhamma school, this should be part of your everyday life, not in Dhamma school life. That every morning, for a few minutes, at least 3 minutes, if you can sit and meditate and go to your school, definitely that's a great blessing that you have. That could be a strong power. You can handle any kind of situation at your school, right? Maybe children, sometimes there may be children who are very mean to you. Still you can handle. Now looking at that story, Abhay Raja's story, you must pick up things. How am I going to practice? How can I handle the questions? How can I handle the situations? Sometimes you maybe need to maintain silence, not to get involved in any kind of talk, arguments, right? Did Buddha get involved in argument? Did he get involved in argument? No, right? He very clearly he explained what the situations are. So, likewise, you have to be wise too. As children of who follow the teachings of Buddha Sadhu, you have to remember these things, and then we have to handle very carefully. Okay? So that's great blessing. That is a blessing that get from the teachings of the Buddha, teachings from the Dhamma. Okay? How many of you think you can remember that story? Okay? Good. Let me see. Well, next time, or whenever I come to Dhamma school, or any time that I meet with you, okay? I will check with you. හොඳයි. එහෙනම් මම හිතනවා හාමුදුරුවෝ දැන් මේ පිරිත් දේශනා කරන්න. This is the Dhamma talk. This is the talk that I want to share with you because I want to show you the power of the words. Okay? So there are power. So Buddha, this is the reason why he taught us, why he encouraged us to observe noble silence and speak the limit. There should be, sometimes when you get together, there must be unlimited conversations, discussions, but try to think about it, okay? All of you children, keep that in your mind and practice. So that would be a great blessing for all of us. Okay, now we monks are going to chant the sutras of blessing, wishing all of you to have a really great new school year and benefit from the teachings as well as for all of you to do well in your schools. Okay, sit now. You have to sit straight and nice. Like Buddha sitting. Srinasamru early. When we begin, we started to encourage you to sit straight. It's very important to keep our back straight because Buddha always did right things. This is until things are, පිරිකර පූජාකාර පස්සේද කියන්නේ පිරිත්
අපි පිරිත් කියමු මේක අත ගහසනවා
කලබලයි නේ
නෑ නේ නැත්නම් වෙලා යනවා ළමෙන් දැන් මහන්සි
the reason behind that is when you sit erect, that's good for blood circulation. Buddha always slept in right side. Do you know the secret of that? What is the secret of sleeping in the right side? Huh? Yes. He was sleeping on the right always, facing. His right hand is down. On that he kept his head and slept. Why? Good reason is left side is where your heart is. When you sleep, you are less active. No action there. Right? If you pressurize your heart, it's a little bit burden to it. So therefore, I think this is why Buddha chose to sleep on his right side. Then there's no pressure on the heart. It can function smoothly. Right? When we... Yes? It's okay still, I think. But this is less burden. Okay? So therefore, Buddhahara always had good reasons for his way of life. So I think it's better for us to, it's a good role model, better for us to practice. Okay? See that. Okay, now, yes. Right hand? Because normally when you right side, when you're facing, where can you keep your hand? That's a very comfortable place. Right? You try it and see. Then you can understand it. Okay? Alright. So now we monks are here to chant the sutras of blessing. Wishing all of you in the new school year for you to have very good time in your education, right? You to be very successful and you to do well in the future. Whatever, if you set your mind, you can achieve your goal. So set your goals and work on it. Definitely you will be a very successful person who can do better service for humanity, right? Not selfish reasons, not being greedy to your money. Of course we need money, but we have to do a service and earn your living. So wishing that success, we will be chanting the sutras now, okay?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Diviso bhagavaraham samma sambuddho vijjajarana sampanno sugato lokavido anuttaro sarati satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati swakato bhagavata dhammo sandittiko akaliko evassiko Pachattam veditabbo viññoiti supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho ujjapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Bhagavato savaka sangho samiji patipanno Bhagavato savaka sangho yadidan jattari purisa yuga atta purisa puggala esa Bhagavato savaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo Puñyaketan lokasati tena sacca vajjena patu tvang ratanatayang etena sacca vajjena patu tvang ratanatayang etena sacca vajjena patu tvang ratanatayang Madha kusalena yantam santam padang abhisamicca sakko joca sojoca suvaco jassa mudu anatima santossa koca subharoca appakiccoca sallauka unti sandindriyoca nipakoca appagabbo kulesu ananugiddo Naca buddham samajare kinciyena viñño pare upavadeyong sukhino vakemino hontu satta bhavantu sukhitatta eke jipana bhutatti tasavata varavanavasesadiga Imahantava majjima rasa kanukatula dittava eva additta echa dure භූතාවා සම්භවේ සේවා සබ්බේ සත්තා භවන්තු සුඛිතාත්තාන පරෝ පරං නිකුබ්බේත ඥාති මඤ්ඤේත ගත්ත ජිනං ගංචි රෝසනා පටික සංඥා ඥාඤ්ඤ මඤ්ඤස්ස දුක්ඛ මිච්ඡේය මාතා යතානියම් පුත්තං ආයුසායේක පුත්ත මනුරක්ඛේ වම්පි සබ්බ මාන සම්භාවයේ අපරිමාණම් මෙත්තං ච සබ්බ ලෝකස්මින් මාන සම්භාවයේ අපරිමාණං උද්දං අදෝච තිරියං ච අසම්බාධං අවේරං අසපත්තං දිට්ඨං ජරන්නි සින්නෝ වාසයානෝ ආයාවතස්ස විගතමි සතින් අදින්දේය බ්‍රහ්මමේතම් විහාරං ඉදමා උදිටිං ච අනුපගම්ම සීලවාදස්සනේන සම්පන්නෝ කාමේසු විනීයගේ ධම්මයි ජාතු ගබ්බසෙය්‍යම් පුනරේති සච්ච වජ්ජේන සබ්බ දුක්ඛං විනාශතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සබ්බ භයං විනාශතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සබ්බ රෝගෝ විනාශතු තු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලම් රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ. හොඳයි එහෙනම් දැන් පිරිකර පූජා කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. මේ පිරිකර පූජා කරන වෙලාව විශේෂයෙන් අපි පැරණි මිනිස්සුන් අපිට පුරුදු පුහුණු කරලා තිබුණා. ඉතින් වටිනා චාරිත්‍ර විද්‍යාව ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණය කරන්න ආපුවාම එනකොට ගෙවල් වලින් යනකොට පුංචි දුවා දරුවන්ට ඒ කාලේ හැටියට ලංකාවේ නම් 7 10ක් 15ක් අතට දෙනවා. මොකටද? දැන් මේ හොඳට බලාගෙන ඉන්න බංගලිදේශයේ දරුවෝ ආපුවාම දෙමව්පියෝ එක්ක මේ ඊයේ පෙරේදත් මම දැක්කා. ඒ පුංචි දරුවෝ ඔක්කොටම කී හරි දීලා ඒ පුංචි දරුවෝ ලව්ව අර පින්කෙටේට එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒ ධර්ම පූජාවකට කීයක් හරි පූජා කරනවා. අනික මේ මහා ගොඩනැගිල්ල මේ අද අපි ඉඳගෙන ඉන්න ගොඩනැගිල්ල හාමුදුරු බණ කියලා ඒ ධර්ම පූජාවන් වලින් ලැබිච්ච ඒ ආධාර තමයි මේ ගොඩනැගිල්ල හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ. රාට පුරා ලෝකෙ පුරා වැඩම කරලා ඒ බණ කියපුවහම ධම්ම පූජාවක් ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ ධර්ම පූජාව තමයි මම හිතන කොණ්ඩඤ්ඤ හාමුදුරන්ටත් අපිට ධර්ම පූජා කරන්න වෙනවා. මොකද උන්වහන්සේ දැන් අලුතෙන් මේ වගේම ගොඩනැගිල්ලක් හදන්න සූදානම් වෙලා ඉන්න වෙලාව. ඒ වගේම උන්වහන්සේ අපිට නිතර ඕන වෙලාවක මේ පුංචි දුවා දරුවෝ වෙනුවෙන් මේ මහා විශාල වෙහෙසක් විඳිනවනේ. ඉතින් ධර්ම ශ්‍රවණය කරපු ආනිසංසය වගේම ධර්ම පූජාවක් කරන ආනිසංසයත් අපිට ලැබෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා මේ පුංචි දරුවන්ට පුරුදු කරන්න ලොකු මුදලක් නෙමෙයි. 725ක් 710ක් මේ ඒ ළමයා ඒක පුරුදු වෙච්චාම ජීවිතේට මේක ළමයාට හුරු වෙනවා. කවදා හරි ලොකු වෙලා බණක් අහන්න ගියත් කොතන හරි ගියාම මේ පූජාව කරන්නට ඒ දරුවා ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා. ඉතින් අපට පොඩි කාලේ පුරුදු වෙච්ච දේවල් දැන් අද ඔය ලංකාවේ ධර්ම දේශනාවල් වලට ගියාම ගෙවල් වල මේ හැම කෙනාම මේ කාර්ය කරනවා. ඒක වරදක් නේ. දානය කරන මහා පින්කමක්, හුරු කිරීමක්. මොකද ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් එකෙන් ඒ කටයුත්ත සිද්ධ කිරීමක්. ඉතින් ඒ කරන පූජාවෙනුත් තව පූජාවක් වෙනවා. උන්වහන්සේලා මේව අරගෙන ඒ උතුම් කටයුතු වලට යොදනකොට තවත් අපට පින් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒක මම හිතනවා මම මේ මතක් කළේ අපි නොදන්නා නිසා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේ දේවල් සිද්ධ නොවන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒවා අපි දැනුවත් කරගෙන තව ලස්සනට කරපුවාම අපි කාටත් ආඩම්බරයක්, අපි කාටත් සතුටක්. ඒ පින සංසාර දුකින් අත මිදී නිවන් දකින්න ලැබේවා කියලා අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමු. හොඳයි. එමනම් දැන් එන්න පිරිත් නූල් බැඳ ගන්න මේ පිරිකර පූජා කරන්න. උපුල් මහත්තයා වෙදින් සෑම දිනම පිරිකර පූජා කරනකොට සාදුකාරයක් දෙන්න. මේක අරගෙන ගිහින් පූජා කරන්න. ආම්ද්‍රෝ අතට දෙනකොට හැම දිනම සාදුකාරයක් දෙන්න. අපි පූජා කළා කියලා හිතාගන්න එක්කෙනෙක් පූජා කළා. හරි. සාදු කියන්න. දැන් පේලියට එක එකන එන්න පිරිත් නූල් පිරිත් පැන් ගන්න. හැබැයි පේලියට දඟලන්න නැතුව ඔය බණ ඇහුවා වගේ ලස්සනට එන්න ඈ.
Bring some faith note from there. Faith note from, yeah. I will